Come on in. A little late to the live. Don't have a lot of time this morning. But I know we had a lot of questions yesterday. So would love to answer your questions today. Good morning. Um, Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely comment so I can give a shout out. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer and I represent clients all over the US and all 50 states with their family based immigration, humanitarian, naturalization, all of that good stuff. Um, Good morning, Mr. Tusk on YouTube. Hello, Stacy. Jeff from Florida. Good morning. Good morning from Houston. Blue Diamond, your first time watching. Thank you for tuning in. And only one says, good morning. This is my first time out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Good morning. Janelle from Miami. Francis from Virginia. Z from Dallas. Thank you for joining in. Novia on YouTube. Illinois in the house. Latoya. Yolanda, Luke Colish from Philly, Header Boy from Jamaica, Sweet Memories says first time watching. Row Antoinette says first time watching, and Mido says good morning from Kentucky. Awesome. And someone from Ireland, Judith, thank you for tuning in. All right, guys, we can just jump right into it, because I don't have a lot of time today. So if you guys have questions about immigration, just pop them into the comment. Let me answer you guys and answer as many as I can before my time runs out. I see someone from Namibia. Wow. Welcome. Ozima says, good morning, gorgeous. I love your signature lipstick. Thank you so much. It's Anastasia of Beverly Hills, Seraphine. I know a few people have asked me in the comments about this lipstick. Just love wearing, I love the color. Terry says, good morning from Nigeria. Says, good afternoon. It's actually morning here in the US. Someone asked me, what can I do with my TPS approval letter, or what's the next step after approval? The next step is you've been approved. So that basically authorizes you to stay here temporarily for 18 months and renew it when the time comes. So with your TPS, I'm assuming that you probably got an employment authorization. If you didn't get one, you can certainly get one, and you can certainly get advanced parole, which is a travel permit that can allow you to travel if you needed to. So that's what the TPS approval is for. Mr. Tosk on YouTube says, I filed for an I-751 way back based on cruelty, and I have an American girlfriend who I want to marry. Is it okay to still get married while my I-751 is still pending? So technically, you can. So this is one area that is very confusing to a lot of people, the difference between filing for VAWA based on an I-360 abuse versus filing for abuse with your I-751. When you submit a VAWA application in its true sense, which is an I-360, which most of you all understand as VAWA, you cannot marry somebody else while your case is pending. So that's a little different from when you already have a 2-year conditional green card. When you have a 2-year conditional green card and you're filing for waiver based on cruelty, and I'm assuming you're, Mr. Tuster, you're already divorced, then technically you can remarry somebody else. You just have to make sure you have all your evidence in order showing that, this spouse, the previous one, you had a good faith marriage. I know I've said this a lot of times, but the biggest thing they're looking for in conditional removals on your green card is proving good faith marriage, proving, of course, in your case, abuse, or proving divorce. But the good faith marriage component remains regardless of which one, which one you take. So that's the answer to that. Clico says, is cancellation of request for additional evidence a good sign after waiting for a decision after interview? Honestly, Clico, I don't know, because I don't know what it is they're looking for. I'll just say, just wait and see what happens. But that doesn't usually happen often. So it's really hard to say, because I don't know what kind of case you have. Someone says, Ghana, based in Virginia. I just want to say I love you. Oh, I love you too. Thank you so much. Um, this person says, I received my work authorization and I applied for Social Security, but there's some problem. It's been 5 weeks and they keep telling me there was a mismatch when they put in my info. What do I do? So, I really can't help with Social Security. You really have to contact the Social Security Administration to understand, well, what is a mismatch? What is happening? They're the ones that really can help you. So is it based on your name, based on the number? I don't really know what it is, but somebody there needs to explain to you what's going on. Okay. Um, um, How soon after I get married should I start filing? So there's really no technical timeline after you get married that you can start filing for a marriage-based adjustment of status. You file based on whenever you're ready and what you have. Obviously, if you're newlywed, you're not going to have as much as someone who's been married for a longer time, but gather all the evidence that you can, from like even when you were dating. That's also a good time to get affidavits from friends and family who know that your relationship is legit and who have spent time with you. When you send affidavits to USCIS, the more detailed the affidavits are about how they know you and all that stuff, the better. Also, during the course of your relationship and dating, if you guys ever, spoke to each other on the phone, you can always send like your call logs, you can always send your WhatsApp messages, you can always post your social media. Like these are some things that you can submit as evidence as newlyweds without having, because when you're newlywed, you might not have a lot of financial entanglement, but there are other things like matters of the heart and emotional stuff that you can show to show that your relationship is legit. So there's really no time. It's really how quickly you want to get in status. People ask me often, should I wait till I can get approved after we've been married for 2 years? Or should I just apply now and get a 2-year green card and then, file for removal? And the answer is really, it depends on your own personal familial relationship and how you and your spouse live. If you know that you cannot survive on one person's income, or you live in a state like i.e. Florida, where there's a fear of being there without any kind of status, you cannot wait, because the sooner you file, the quicker you have status to work, to travel with your family, to travel on your own, to do little simple things, and just, so you don't put yourself at the risk, because every single day that you don't have status, there's always a risk of deportation. Now, could it happen? No. Can it happen? Yes. So, don't let, so you really have to be in a place of comfort where it's like, I know I'm literally going to be staying in the house and nobody's going to deport me. I don't need the money. I don't have to get my status and I want to wait. So the answer to your question is certainly you can file anytime. Okay. Philippa, thank you for tuning in for the first time. Gio says, I've been living here for 13 years, never filed any paperwork. So, there's no question here. I'm assuming this is just a statement, and, that's unfortunate. We would have to screen you to see if there's something that you might be eligible for. I don't know why you've not filed one. So Arlene says, good morning, lots of blessings and love. Thanks for giving people hope. I'm asking a question for a friend. She's listening to you as well. Okay, I haven't seen the question yet, or have you put the question? I don't see the question, so you can put the question in. Okay. Okay, so Katie says, good morning. If on my work visa, I was in a common law marriage in Jamaica, I came to the US, married, filed for VAWA, it was approved. Can this be turned as misrepresentation? Can this be turned as misrepresented? I'm not sure I understand what you type here, but you're basically asking, because you're in a common law marriage, and then you came here and you married, you're basically asking, is it going to be considered misrepresentation? This is actually a very good question, especially for those of our clients or potential clients or viewers that are in Jamaica. So one of the things that USCIS does is that they have what we call a reciprocity schedule, which means they basically look at the rules of marriage, divorce, birth, death in other countries, and then they tell us what is acceptable, right, from a standpoint of the US. So, and two countries I'm going to use, for example, to make this comparison is Jamaica and Nigeria. So, in Jamaica, common law marriage is recognized. But for the purpose of USCIS in the United States, a common law marriage is not considered a legal marriage. So it is technically not misrepresentation. We've actually had a few clients have this where it was like, but it says you're married. We're like, well, Jamaican common law, but there's no legal marriage and blah, 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 blah. And that was fine. Now, juxtapose it the other way around, like if you're from Nigeria, for example, in Nigeria, they have what they call a customary marriage. So they don't actually like go to church or court or, with an imam to get married. They just have like a traditional ceremony that is recognized as a legal marriage in the United States. So you see the difference. So in that case, that would technically be considered misrepresentation. In your case, it won't be, because a common law marriage is not recognized as a legal marriage in the US if you're from Jamaica. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm only speaking specifically of Jamaica. So nobody come comment and then say that's not accurate about it. I'm just speaking of Jamaica and what the rules are in Jamaica. And you can go read that yourself on the US reciprocity schedule. Okay, my I-360 was approved last month. Can I go ahead to file the next stage? Anthony, I don't know what your I-360 was approved for. Is it, because the I-360 is used for many things, VAWA, widower petition. What is it that you filed for, and what didn't you file for? What is the next stage for you? What are you trying to do? So that would be helpful to be able to answer. David said, I've not seen you online for a while now. I was online yesterday. Where were you? But I have been out of, July is a busy month for me outside of work. Because, I'm sure you guys know, just like you have personal lives, there are things that go on in one's lives that where I cannot, but like I was saying yesterday, we just closed on the house that we've been building for 2 years. And it's just been a lot, like trying to pack, deal with vendors, just still work going on in the house. So that's why I've not been online, but I'm here now. Okay, let me see. One more question and I got to jump off. Let me get a good one. So 2D says, can I do my medical in a state different from the state I filed in? I filed in Florida, but currently working in Massachusetts. Honestly, the answer depends. Do you live in Massachusetts now? Since you're working in Massachusetts, if that's your new location, you can do your medical there. Of course, there's a possibility they're going to ask you about that if you haven't updated your address. So if you move, you should always update your address, because sometimes it changes jurisdiction of the USCIS officer and them being able to interview you and make a decision. So if you move states, you definitely want to update USCIS so they know. Okay. Okay, guys, I have to go. I have a meeting this morning right now. So I will chat with you guys later. Maybe I'll come back later on this week if I have any other time. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.